Hello, and welcome back. Today we are discussing budgeting. As we all have recurring expenses, such as birthdays and vehicle maintenance, etc., we need to have a payment plan for these expenses. In January, we all know when our family members' birthdays are, so we need to make provision for this, in our budget. You also know when the cars will need to be serviced and licensed, include this in your budget, too.
The easiest way to achieve this is to have a separate account for these expenses. You don't need to have a separate account for each special occasion or vehicle service, you only need one savings account into which you deposit the extra money. First, you need to draw up a list of special events, like birthdays, vehicle services, vehicle license, etc. You then need to allocate money to each of these extra expenses, either an amount you are comfortable with, or the actual amount of the expense. At the end of the day, this must add up to the total amount for each expense, and be put into the savings account. For example, as from January, you put aside 100 Rand for 3 birthdays and 200 Rand for the car service every month. By May, you should have a total of 2,500 Rand in your savings account. 3 times 100 Rand, plus 200 Rand, which equals 500 Rand per month, multiplied by 5 months. Thus, you will have 500 Rand for each family member, for their respective birthdays, and 1,000 Rand for the car service. Then, when you use the money to buy gifts or service the cars, the total amount will reduce, and the amount you budgeted for this event, will come off the list.
Then, if the car is serviced in May, 1,000 Rand will be withdrawn, and you will have 1,500 Rand left in the savings account, made up of 3 times 500 Rand for each family member's birthday.
Before we continue, just a friendly reminder from us, please subscribe to our channel, and like our videos. Also, please click the bell. This will ensure that you are notified when we load our latest videos. Your subscriptions and likes make a huge difference, and are always greatly valued and appreciated. We also really appreciate any feedback in the comments.
Another great tip is to convert your money into hours worked or products sold. This will change the way you use your money.
For instance, my daughter decided to treat us to takeaways, as we told her the only way we could get takeaways is if we took the money out of our weekly grocery budget, which would reduce the amount we could spend on food. So she decided that she would use her own money instead and treat us. She was horrified to realize that it cost her 1.5 days of her hard work to buy takeaways for the family.
Somehow, we don't think she is going to treat us to takeaways again.
Therefore, translating money into actual hours worked, or actual products sold, puts a whole new take on the value of money. If it takes 1 hour to earn 250 Rand, and then you spend the same amount on lunch, is it worth it? If an item you want to buy costs the value of 3 products you need to sell, is it worth it?
Do not allow other people to manipulate or intimidate you into breaking your budget and spending extra money you have not budgeted for. They are not on this journey with you. Maybe they can afford it, maybe they can't, but haven't realized it yet. Whatever the reason, always stick to your budget. There will be time, once you have achieved your goals, to spoil yourself and your loved ones. If you want to go out, then budget for it timelessly. Do not allow someone to pressurize you into spending money you cannot really afford.
Buying cheap is not always best. Being cheap is not the same as being frugal. When you buy something which is on a special, always consider the quality of a product before buying it. Sometimes buying something cheap will cost you more in the long run. This is applicable across the board. Sometimes you see a special on a product, let's say cereal. But when you get home, The kids won't eat it, because it tastes funny. Rather spend a bit more, and get something that will be used, or something which will last.
Which brings us on to food wastage. Try to cut back on food wastage, by buying right the first time. Use up those leftovers, eat out of the pantry at least once a week. Get rid of temptation, by deleting online shopping apps, and canceling emails, and newsletters. Looking at these websites and emails, is a temptation, and creates a wasteful consumer culture. This is exactly what we are trying to let go of.
Now onto clothing. Organize your clothes to match, and discard mismatched items. Also, reuse old clothes which have reached the end of their lives, by recycling them into rags for cleaning. If you want to buy a new item of clothing, you first need to throw out an item in your wardrobe. Before you buy that new dress, take a photo of the new dress you want to buy. Give yourself 48 hours to decide if you really need it. 9 out of 10 times you will end up not buying it.
And finally, always ask yourself, did I budget for this? Do I need it? And, why do I want this? What is my motivation for this purchase? If you cannot answer these questions to your own satisfaction, then do not buy it.
And we have come to the end of this episode. We hope this video will help you too, on your journey to becoming financially free. Next week we will look at ways to keep ourselves motivated, while we scale back even more on our expenses.